Hey everybody, it's Dami and Jamie with Hometown History, and we're going to talk about William Goodridge tonight. So his sculpture was just unveiled this year in New York City, and it's out front of the Goodridge Freedom Center. And he's sitting on a bench, and Gary Castile, the sculptor, who's nationally renowned, made it that way. And over the summer and even this winter, there's been pictures of people sitting next to him and interacting with him on the bench, and we think that's super cool. And I mean, that's what Gary wanted out of the sculpture.
Exactly. He wanted people to go and sit next to him and feel like they could touch him, and then the whole goal was to get them to ask questions, like who was this man and why was he so important. So Dami and I are going to go through, the next time you pose next to William Goodridge, 6 captions that you can use in the images on Instagram.
Okay,
so let's start with number 1.
Number 1 is Goodridge worked his way up from slavery, which is true. And in 1806, his mother gave birth to him in Baltimore. And some say the C in his middle name stands for Carroll, and that was the name of his mother's owners. And at 6 years old, he was taken to York, where he was indentured to a tanner. And the Reverend William Dunn was the name of the tanner, and he worked for 10 years for Dunn, and he was finally released in 1822.
Yeah, and he was 16 years old. All right, number 2, when he was released, he started his first job cutting hair. His barber shop was the first business he ever owned, which I think is really cool that he started his own business, right out the gate. So he was 16 years old. He entered the York business scene. He learned how to cut hair throughout this process. Later in his life, the barber shop offered services such as sharpening razors, scissors, and surgical equipment, and they even offered human hair for sale, probably for wigs. Hopefully there's no voodoo dolls out there.
I mean, there was hair jewelry back then.
Moving on to number 3.
Number 3. So he sold confectionery and wooden toys. He rented stoves. He marketed animals. I mean, he was doing just about everything. And there were cosmetic paints, guitars, accordions. He had cheap jewelry, perfumes. So Goodridge grew into the best known businessman in York County during the Civil War.
Yeah, one of the most famous. Number 4. Goodridge owned the tallest building in York for about 2 years. Here's a picture of it. It was called the Center Square, and it was a skyscraper at the time. It was an impressive 5-story emporium on the northwest corner of Center Square. Now, there was another guy named John Hartman who came in. He was a businessman of Goodridge, and he would not let it stand that there would be a structure built by a black man who was the tallest in this city. And so some people say that it was business competitiveness that pushed him to build the next tallest building at 6 stories, but a lot of others think that it was probably just racism.
I would think that is.
And competitive as well.
Unfortunately.
Yep. So getting in number 5.
Number 5, Goodridge and his family were a stop on the Underground Railroad. That's so cool. So along with his wife, Emily, the Goodridges hid freedom seekers in a straw-filled cellar under a trapdoor in the kitchen in the rear of their home on East Philadelphia Street, which is where we're at
right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. You saw it on your way to the bathroom. And he also established a railroad freight forwarding company to move cargo in and out of York to Philadelphia. His operation grew to 13 rail cars, and he also used that to transport the hidden humans. If you come to the Goodridge Center and you look at the sculpture, his foot is actually on a trapdoor. So that's representing the Underground Railroad.
Yep. Finally, number 6. The Goodridge family became nationally known for other businesses as well. The 3 sons, Glenalvin, William, and Wallace, they all became pioneers in the photography industry. In fact, they operated in New York and Michigan for 75 years. One of their other daughters, Emily, moved to Michigan as well, or Minnesota, and she owned and operated a successful seamstress business. So they passed on the family legacy of being entrepreneurs. But she also initiated a movement to help a woman who was enslaved towards freedom. A mob burned down her business and her house, and she rebuilt it back up.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she wasn't going to stand for it. So here is a picture of the amazing sculpture. There's the photographs, just kidding. There's a picture of the sculpture.
Here we go.
Now you know why there's scissors in his pocket.
Right, I know there's so many little hidden Easter eggs in this sculpture. So it's important to remember that this captures freedom, perseverance, and his hard work. And we hope that you guys are going to come down and take pictures with him. If you do, tag us on Hometown History on Instagram, Facebook. That would be so cool. And thanks for tuning in for our short tonight, guys.
All right, see ya.
Bye.